have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Scholars of Wrestling. Tonight, the Fool and I are going to be giving our reactions to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and whatever happened the next night on Raw.
Because Fool. You know neither of us watched Raw, ever.
No, we don't watch Raw, ever. We watch it... No. We watch it like... It's like a drug.
Yeah. We just can't stop watching, even though it was actually really good this
yeah. This Raw definitely made up for the pay-per-view. At least in my opinion. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't like how the pay-per-view
I enjoyed a lot
out.
of this pay-per-view, although I can see how you might not have liked it as much. Let's face it, with something like this, with something like Money in the Bank, oftentimes the Money in the Bank matches and the ladder matches, those can propel what would normally otherwise be a really average pay-per-view. But I think that's how it treated me anyway.
Well, for me, considering how the past few Money in the Bank pay-per-views have been, which have been very, very good, from the Daniel Bryan win, which led to a great World Heavyweight title run, starting the Yes Movement, planting the seed of the Yes Movement to CM Punk walking out of the WWE. Good.
It still doesn't feel like it's been that long. It really does not.
What is it, 3 years ago now? 2011?
Oh, you're going that far back. Okay. I guess it really has been that long.
So it really has been long, and the Money in the Bank never ceases to fail entertainment-wise, even when it comes to the lower card. But for this year, it wasn't a very good lower card. Maybe one or two matches. But at least there was one Money in the Bank match that made me feel happy. That actually got a good smile. I was like, now this is a good match.
Now this is pod racing.
Now, don't mention Star Wars Episode 1 in my presence.
Meme, internet.
That's not a... Where have you seen a meme for that? Exactly.
I cannot tell you.
All right, enough Episode 1 and the disappointingness, which hopefully J.J. Abrams can redeem when Episode 7 comes out.
Oh, are we still talking about Star Wars?
No, we're talking about Money in the Bank.
That's what I thought you said. Okay, let's get to it.
Let's get into the pre-show. We had this big discussion last week on the prediction show on what exactly Daniel Bryan is going to say when he's coming back or whatnot. Turns out he's just saying he's probably going to have another surgery, which would keep him out longer.
Okay, when you heard that, I'm not sure what you guys thought, because we were just sort of like, oh, hey, pre-show, whatever, boom. But to
Bryan
me...
was, at least.
Well, yeah. But when I heard that, I was like, okay, they're probably going for... I can't precisely say why, but it almost really sounds like there's more to the story, almost like he's setting up a swerve, like, oh yeah, might need other surgeries, but then again, oops, a surprise return, a couple things from now at the SummerSlam. Hey boo with the boo at the yes.
I didn't get that. The man, usually when he cuts promos, he's cutting out honesty. He's bringing the honesty to his promos, and I truly believe he may have to go through another surgery that may take him out for a little while longer, which eventually leads to Bo leave. Bo Dallas coming out to really not do his typical spiel. And
why was he here?
And it tried to lead for Daniel Bryan to do a boner chant, which failed miserably, fell flat on its face. It died on impact. The only thing that actually got people laughing is Bo, leave. Ha, ha, ha. He's using a different leave. Ha.
Yeah. Again, this whole segment just seemed like it was setting up for something else. And as far as the Bo Dallas stuff, it really just felt like they were just trying to throw a whole bunch of counter Bo Dallas chants at the wall just to see, hey, which ones will the fans pick up and go with? Okay, they don't want to chant boner in a post-PG world full of the little Jimmies. That makes sense.
Wow, we're still referencing Little Jimmy?
Well, I am. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but
I'm not.
I still say Little Jimmy is funny, but whatever. And
I like the pigeons more than Little Jimmy. Because you know what they said?
Yeah.
Nothing. They're pigeons.
They can't talk. Well, anyway, BaAaH Dallas, it was sort of, okay, we need to do something with BaAaH Dallas. Got to keep that momentum going for BaAaH. Have them will do a little exchange with the company's top face or one of them. It's a little space filler. It's not actually taking up time on the pay-per-view. It's it's an opportunity to see Daniel Bryan again.
It was just a waste. It was just a waste of time throwing BaAaH Dallas out there. It really was.
That's all I really got to say about it. It was there. It was a thing that happened. BaAaH Dallas.
Again, like what he said.
BaAaH Dallas. He's like that one episode of The Simpsons. Oh, BaAaH Dallas. He's cool. Dude, are you being sarcastic or serious? I don't even know anymore.
Are you being sarcastic or serious? Yes.
Sarcastically serious.
All right, let's actually get into the pay-per-view.
Yes, let's. It's been enough. Are you sure you don't want to talk about BaAaH Dallas for another 5 minutes?
No, I don't.
No BaAaH?
No BaAaH. I'm not on the BaAaH bandwagon. No BaAaH.
No BaAaH.
BaAaH.
Okay.
All right.
Enough of that.
Let's talk about the first match that opened the night. The WWE Tag Team Championship between the Usos and the Wyatts.
This was neato.
It was very neato, and I
got rid of that stupid.
I was going to ask you. Did you like this new music that they did, not the harmonica music?
It is way better. It's sort of white trash, badass, redneck. I can easily see them pulling the Roman Reigns route with this. If they ever do split up, I can easily see Luke Harper. Yeah, exactly. You know exactly where I was going with this. I can definitely see Luke Harper taking that music and just running away with it, and then just keeping that as his singles music. And then Rowan is Rowan. He'll just have like he'll just come out to some sheep buying, and they'll just come out to like bah, and they'll just come out to the mask, and yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want
cheap dubstep. That's gonna be Eric Rowan's new gimmick after he leaves the Wyatt family. He's just gonna be redneck rave guy.
Oh God! Just comes out like
drop the bass.
Just him coming out in like 90s Vanilla Ice with the shades over the sheet mask. What are we doing to Eric Rowan?
We're talking about everything else but the match.
I love the match. It was one of the top matches of the night for me.
Really, you've got the Wyatt family, who need no introduction at this point. You've got the Usos, who are just known for being a top tier talent at this point. It's 15 minutes of greatness out of these two. It's what we expected from a pay-per-view of this
magnitude.
Magnitude, yes.
I
can't talk today
because the epicness that is the Wyatts versus the Usos.
Yeah,
although is just too much for the fool to handle.
Yeah, actually, it's not that, but I have to admit, I am a little surprised that the Wyatts didn't walk away with the straps this time around. Maybe the rumor of the Ascension coming in and beating the Usos for the straps is legitimate. That's the only thing I can think of, anyway.
It looks like it's leading to that, but hey, we still have Battleground.
We do still have Battleground. Who knows?
A
lot can happen between then and now.
And from what happened the next night on Raw, which led to the 6-man tag between Sheamus, the Usos versus the Wyatts, all 3 members. I felt like that match was focused more for the Usos and Harper and Rowan more than Sheamus and Bray Wyatt.
I can see that.
Let's see, who got the pin? It was Harper that got the pin. What, am I right? I believe so.
I will fact check.
Fact check, fool. It really doesn't matter.
We need to make a soundbite for that or something down the line.
Maybe.
I'll
I felt like the 6-man tag was the focus more for the Usos and the Wyatts, just so they can keep that feud going. But for Bray Wyatt, he'll have other things to do. He'll have other things to do, but we'll get to that later.
Breaking down some walls.
Breaking down some walls, indeed. All right, let's get into the more lower card matches.
Did we ever give this match a rating?
I give it a full beard. I give that match a full beard.
I will give it. Compared to the other things on this card, I will have to give this a 3.5, little over a classic OT. This one was fine for what it was. It was just blarg. That's all I got.
Is that a good blarg or a bad blarg?
It was a blarg. It was a blarg of delight. It's a good kind of blarg.
For me, yeah,
it's damn good blarg.
For my full beard, it's just because the match was flawless. No problems at all. It was so much fun to watch. The losing of the star was I really wanted Harper and Rowan to walk out as champions because I feel like their time is due to have those gold around their waists. Mm-hmm. And all right, like I said before, let's get on to the lower cards.
Yes, indeedy.
The weak matches, as I like to call them. The filler
away.
The filler matches. Let's start with the Divas Championship. Paige versus Naomi.
This, Tim, I know you're probably going to disagree with me, but I was pleasantly surprised by this match.
I am not. It was a very sloppy match for me. Especially that one slip suplex where they both fell outside. That didn't look good at all. Yeah,
there were some sloppy spots in this match, but you know what? For what it was and the kind of time frame you can imagine a Divas match had, there was enough for me to like about this match. Maybe it's just me and my really, really low expectations for Divas matches at this point kicking in. But for this one, it was okay. That's all I can say. It was just okay.
The one thing that I gotta give credit for this match is this is a match that actually built something leading to the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. They had Naomi beat Paige on main event, but Cameron couldn't beat her at main event, and it led to some little what's the word? Confrontation or building little tension. There we go. Mm-hmm. Building tension between.
Yeah, they had segments building it.
Building Cameron and Naomi potentially breaking up, and the match, like I said, it was very sloppy. It wasn't good. It was okay. It was the better of the Divas matches, of the two Divas matches of this card.
That's another reason why I can't condemn it too hard, because of what we'd see later in comparison. This one came out like gold.
But also the match was also predictable. I knew Paige was going to win. They weren't going to give it to Naomi. I got to give this a peach fuzz.
This time, I know you're probably going to look at me like I got 80 heads, but I got to give this...
You're Captain Optimism, so it's not surprising.
Yeah. But then again, we're also doing the
That's
post.
Your new nickname now, Captain Optimism.
Captain Optimism? I can deal with this. I like this. Let's go with it. Yeah.
Can't wait to hear Brian's reaction.
I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm Captain Optimism. Okay, I'm just going to shut up before I bury this into the ground.
Yeah,
anyway,
good call.
Yeah. Anyway, to the rating, I'm going to have to give this a classic OT 3 out of 5. As far as Divas matches go, sure, it had flaws, but it was at least presentable. I got something out of it outside of the obvious Divas are pretty, but that and the butt-based offense still remains from Naomi. Just
silly. You don't like, or what the video game calls it, thump.
Yeah, seriously. Thump butt. I'm not sure if you picked up on this, but even when we were all sitting around watching the pay-per-view, I was like, okay, this is presentable. I'm glad Naomi dropped the butt-based offense. And then then the second I said that, bam, the thump. It was like, come on. I want to like you, Naomi. Cut me some slack here. But no.
But don't worry, fool. What happened the next night on Raw is leading to a great feud for the Divas division.
Yes.
With looks like they're turning Paige heel, building up that little eagle,
back.
Which leads to light it up, light it up, light it up, light it tonight, AJ Lee.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
AJ, yes, you said AJ's back. So is the hardcore CM Punk chants.
Yeah, that did not waste any time.
And the CM Punk chants were all over this past Raw.
That was awesome
This
crowd.
one was the strongest.
Yeah, this was a really awesome crowd. Can we just admit that?
It's Hartford.
Yeah.
It's Connecticut.
I know, it's smart territory, and I love crowds like this. But I'm sure I've said that a million times.
And it looks
works here.
And from what it looks like, it's coming complete full circle with AJ being the one. Congratulations on your successful title run. Yes. It's like Paige. Oh no, that doesn't mean I'm going to give you a title shot. Well, we'll leave the crowd to decide. Do you think I deserve a title shot? Leads to an impromptu match. Not even 5 minutes. Paige getting a little ego, and which leads to a slap and a roll up. AJ is the new Divas champion. And people have been very angry that this is like, oh, this is now burying Paige. This is ruining Paige. They took everything that Paige had in her title run and slapped it in the face. I'm like, no, it's not.
If you really think that, then you haven't been paying attention to Paige's run on the mainstream title picture, Raw, everything.
She's had good matches with Divas, minus the storylines. I mean, they're just thrown together. But that's WWE's logic nowadays, just throwing matches together. But at least with Paige, she's been putting on good matches with the Divas she's been thrown with, from starting with Tamika Snuka. I put Tamika because
she's that forgettable, huh?
No, I like Tamina.
I know.
I just mixed her first and last name together. Tamika.
Well, she's Tamika now.
She is Tamika now. I still love you, Tamina Snuka. You are too good to disappear wherever. She hasn't been seen after that feud.
You know what? You're right. Whatever. Where are you? Where in the world is Tamika Snuka?
Is she in the cave with Brad Maddox? I don't know.
Probably.
From the I hate Alicia Fox, but at least they had a decent match. And now Naomi. She's had a good run as the Divas champion, showing that she is credible and that she's, better than most of the Divas division.
But even then, we don't even need to go that far. Sure, she had some great matches, but seriously, I could not have been the only one who realized that this is exactly what they did to bring Paige into the first place. They didn't even try to hide it. This is exactly what they did. And this is not, by no means, the end of this feud.
This is the beginning. Feud. Yeah. This is the beginning. This is going to be the feud of the Divas division, at least by today's standards. This is going to be
for at least like the next month or so.
Easy. I can be perfectly honest. This is probably going to be close to the same level as what Trish and Lita had. And they're both very good athletes. They're very good at what they do. They're good on the mic. They're good in the ring. I can see this lasting for a while.
If they pull it off right.
But I'm siding with Brian on this one now more than ever. WWE Creative is probably gonna crap all over this, is what they do usually.
Yeah,
but I do see the potential, and now since the roles are reversed, AJ came back as a face, and now Paige is a heel. I could see it working.
I have a real hard time putting this in the same classification as Trish Lita territory.
I said it's close to it. I got it. I'm watching what I'm saying.
I know. It's still really, really early on. This can go sour a million different ways and really be knocked out of the park only a few different ways.
Storyline, I agree with you. But on accounts of having actual matches, I'm not worried about these two.
Yeah, these two can definitely go. That much we know. They've got enough where they can make something work. I think the WWE, if they have any inkling of what they're doing at all, just give these ladies a little bit more time. They'll do something with that time, and you'll have something presentable and not main event caliber, but pay-per-view caliber.
Main event caliber for Diva's sake.
I was talking about WWE main event, but yeah, it was WWE. Just please. Don't screw this one up. You could have something good going here. Don't blow it off too early like you did with Tamina's momentum after Paige won the title. That was way too soon, way too rushed. Take your time with this. Even though I have zero hope that you will, that's why I only said this feud can go for another month. This could go for another 3 months or beyond, depending on how you pull it off. This could be your Divas feud of the summer if you pull it off right.
Now, what they're throwing potentially as the Divas feud of the summer, which no one is backing this up, Summer Rae versus Layla.
There's no
with
way.
Fandango as the referee.
Feud. There's no way it's the Divas feud of Summer. It's bruh.
With WWE's logic and how much they're pushing Total Divas, which Summer Rae is a part of, I could see them doing that. With how high hopes they have for the Total Divas show.
This segment on the pay-per-view was only was barely half the length of the Divas title match, and really that's all it needed to be.
I felt like it was too much.
Yeah, it just seemed like it went on longer than it did. But
now let me ask you. But after Layla won and Summer Rae is on the ground and you see her like now I'm going to stand up for this. You see her like kissing Fandango and then you see her like swipe the dust at Summer Rae. Did you notice that Layla may have accidentally kind of healed Summer Rae's face on that one? I'm like, oh, I don't think that was supposed to happen. But
yeah, I caught on to that too. But really, it was like, you know what? Whether it was staged or not, it looked good and was an impressive enough gesture that I'm not sure why they decided to close things out this way.
Oh, it's not closed. I hate it. I hate how they're continuing this on Monday.
I was still very indifferent. It was just like, okay, you're gonna have these bunch of ladies interact, and
you watched Monday, right?
Yes, I did watch Monday.
You saw now they throwing in Ziggler with this feud, having him rival with Fandango and Summer Rae coming out and kissing Ziggler. I'm like, no, Ziggler, run, get away from this feud. You're better than this. Run for your life.
My reaction was, this is building up Summer Rae way more than it does Ziggler. Ziggler can generate his own hype. That much we know.
He doesn't need to be involved in this. He doesn't.
But Ziggler doesn't need to be involved in this. But everyone else around him needs Ziggler to be involved in this. I see him as
to give like Fandango a more credible thing, but they want to focus more on Layla versus Summer Rae. That's what the main focus is.
For the moment.
It's like Layla with Fandango behind her versus Summer Rae, now with Dolph Ziggler behind her. Now we can lead to Ziggler versus Fandango. Who is the better one? Yay! No.
You sounded like you were a toy commercial there for a second. New Summer Rae action figure, now packaged with a free Dolph Ziggler.
And now we are looking forward. No, we're not looking forward. I can't even complete the sentence. I can't even complete the joke of having Dolph Ziggler involved with this feud.
That's the joke.
I can't take it. I'm angry
you
about
it. You suck, McBain. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, and honestly, I don't really care much.
Do we have a 0 rating?
Clean shaven isn't a...
Clean shaven is the one.
Okay, how about...
Austin's middle finger.
No, how about that one episode of Celebrity Deathmatch with Mankind as a special guest referee where he ripped someone's jaw off and your brains just sort of spill out all over the floor?
Too complicated.
How about,
No.
Just no. Okay.
I'm giving this
no.
I'm giving this a 0 out of 5. I'm going to give this a no. We'll probably think of something better than a no. But
I'm going to give this a clean shaven just because, Summer Rae, Layla, I'm a pig. I'm sorry.
Layla, I understand. Summer Rae, no.
I like Summer Rae.
I don't. I hate everything going on with this feud.
I only have one other question.
Shoot.
Summer Rae.
Yeah.
Does she or does she not use hair extensions? I must know.
Probably. I don't care.
And those are some of the finest hair extensions I've ever seen.
I honestly don't care. I don't care about this feud. I'm very upset that they're throwing Ziggler in this feud.
I'm just looking for something to enjoy out of this. I really am.
Just throw Ziggler into the Intercontinental title Battle Royal as a contender.
I think he still has a good chance of being there.
Oh, he's in it.
Really
Oh, yeah, because they're probably going to throw, 20 guys in this?
Oh, yeah, big time. There's more than enough room for Ziggler. He's fine.
All right, now let's get on to the next match because I'm getting angry just continuing talking about this.
Paul Revere?
No, Paul Revere.
Paul Revere.
All right, we'll talk about Paul Revere later.
Okay.
There's something even that's lower ranked than Paul Revere, and that's Dashingly Gold versus Ryback number 20,000.
Oh, hardly 20,000.
It's over 9,000!
Stardust alone has not been around for that long.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying because all they're doing is having them face Ryback.
It's fine for what it is.
It's fine for what it is. It's just now it's like it's the fuel gauge is now ding ding refill, do something. No.
I'll tell you what, in defense of these matches or these series of matches, there's actually in my eyes something new to see in this. Even just outside of Stardust showing off his new move set, which is getting over like crazy, by the way.
You hear that, Brian? It's getting over like crazy.
You love Stardust. Stardust loves you. Now, really, even though everyone seems to be paying attention to Goldust and Stardust and the new Dashingly Gold, whatever you want to call them.
Gold Star, Dashingly Gold, whatever.
Dashingly Gold Star? What?
Dashingly Gold Star. There you go.
Oh, what have I started?
That's actually brilliant.
Anyway, RybAaH, I really find myself enjoying the way they play off the crowd and just mess with each other. Like, he started saying Ryback rules again, and he just started messing. He was like, the big guy, rah. They're like...
Oh, don't get me wrong.
I like these guys now.
Don't get me wrong. I like RybAaH. I like Dashingly Gold. It's the same thing now, because now that Stardust is here and Dashingly Gold has their momentum back, now I feel like they should at least put these two tag teams in with the Usos and the Wyatts and have us have a four-way brawl. Because these four are all that the tag team division has. I mean, the only two tag teams that you're missing now is R-Truth and Xavier Woods and Los Matadores, with which one of the Los Matadores is actually out with injury. Now you just have Xavier Woods and R-Truth, and no one cares about Xavier Woods and R-Truth.
I want to care about Xavier Woods. R-Truth is just sort of there.
It is there, and they're not even on TV. No, they're not. They're not even on the main event.
What have you done to your tag division, WWE?
They have 4 good tag teams, yet for some reason they're keeping them apart. That's what they're doing with their tag team division. I can see these 4 guys having good matches easily. Now with Dashingly Gold revamped with what they're doing with Stardust, the Usos now they're gotten this big thing of now they're the lackeys for the main eventers, which actually did give them a decent push. Now they're legit stars. I mean, I was even talking. Who was I talking with about this? I think it was when we were watching the pay-per-view. It's like, remember one point when the Usos were just the tag team. Pretty much they were in the Los Matadores stage where they were just throwing and losing everything.
Yeah.
And now look at them.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Good for them, because they're very athletic guys. And they deserve to be tag team champions. I was just hoping that I personally felt that their tag team title reign was sort of run dry, but apparently not to WWE. Mm-hmm. I want to see these 4 guys. I want something new than just the Wyatts versus the Usos. As much as I love them, I want to see something added to it. And I think RybAaH and Dashingly Gold would be 2 great additions to that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have them face like one another every now and then. Maybe have a fatal 4-way elimination dance off. Not literally dance off.
I was going to say, pick your words carefully.
Face off. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Nicolas Cage, John Travolta. I don't know.
Nicolas Cage versus the Usos. Handicap match. Book it.
No. But like I was saying, I liked Dashingly Gold versus RybAaH, so I wanted something more to it. As for the match itself, it was fun. Can't give it nothing more than a classic goatee.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just going to give it a classic. I wasn't even going to give this a classic goatee. I was just sort of wavering in between
generic
Peach Fuzz and classic goatee. And
they're not even going anywhere. They just basically had a rematch next night on Raw.
Yeah, thick Peach Fuzz. This was a thing.
Thick Peach Fuzz.
Thick Peach Fuzz.
All right, now that we're done with that, let's actually get into something that's actually pushing one of these contenders to actual stardom. Rusev versus Big E. This one was a lot better than their first brawl at what was it? What was the pay-per-view before this? Payback.
Payback, thank you.
It was a hell of a lot better than their Payback match. At least they actually were given more time.
Yeah, this
one was actually fun for me.
Yeah, this one was more or less what I expected. Not that I was expecting much, but like we said what I said on the pay-per-view prediction show. Thank you.
You got that?
Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it.
Good.
Yeah, this one was, at least in my eyes, pretty obviously set up to be just a blow-off to their feud, which it was, and then they're moving on to something else. Like, oh no, Big E can't get it done. Whatever will happen now? We need a real American who can...
It was about time. You have Lana talking in her fake Russian accent again on Raw after their victory. Okay, I'm just gonna, since we're moving on from the match, just gonna give it a classic goatee. It was better than
That's
I think.
fine.
I think
That's
last.
fair,
I think
goatee.
at Payback I gave it a peach fuzz because nothing came out of it because they built nothing towards it. At least like they made Big E someone who actually could beat Rusev, and he actually was fighting out of the. I don't know. I still can't remember what he calls it. The camel clutch. I don't know what he calls it now. What he still calls it. I'm dumb like that. He was shown fighting out of it, but then Rusev just was like, nope. Finally letting him to tap out. Classic goatee from that one. Good job for both guys. And like what you said, it has to take a real American to stand up to Rusev. Boom, boom,
Oh, that was so good.
And I think now more than ever, since they officially turned Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter face, in a Halloween episode, I can definitely now see them making Zeb Coulter Yosemite Sam.
Because my dream will come true.
Because I swear to God, when he was talking with Lon, I even liked how they did it. First, I thought they were going to talk like on the entrance ramp and walk down. No, they were walking down all serious. Oh, yeah, that's right, we're here. And
now they're faces now. Yeah. Now that they're good guys. Now they can actually be heroic and brave. And hey, look at me.
Now they're not America. Like the right wing like propaganda heels that they were being pushed as. Now they're Americans. America.
And now everyone's gonna be so excited. Now everyone's getting into
because now it's. I think this is Jack Swagger's first official face turn.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it took me like a day to figure that out, but it's like wow, he's actually a face now for the first time.
And good for him. I still don't like. I'm sorry, he's still not interesting. At least they're actually like building something now. Rusev is letting Lana out after Zeb Coulter's Rag and Frag and Varmint promo to Lana. Rag and Frag and Varmint, America.
Rag and Frag in America.
He lets Lana out. Goes to attack Swagger. Arm toss, hip toss. Leads to a very angry Rusev. We the people. First time I've ever heard this. Let's go Swagger. Let's go Swagger. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
As awesome as that was, do you think, because it's obvious they're not going to have Jack Swagger be the one who breaks Rusev's undefeated streak? No. No way.
Not yet.
Oh, I don't think it's happening at all.
But then again, from what I've been seeing, he really hasn't had much of an undefeated streak. That at least nothing that they've been building on, or like they're not having.
They may not be building on it, but it's still there.
Yeah, it may be still there, but the key difference is like the announcers, Michael Cole, they haven't really been playing it up as much, even though yes, it does exist, which tells me that maybe they're not going to be taking it in that direction. They're going with a more momentum-based approach for Rusev at this point. So if they do end up extending this feud between Swagger and Rusev, this could be another, at the next pay-per-view, there could be, okay, maybe Rusev wins and then, Swagger just keeps coming back harder and faster than ever. And then at SummerSlam, you have one more, maybe another specialty match, maybe, I don't know, a cage match or something. A real American red, white, and blue cage match. And you do the crazy Swaggy lock or whatever. And
Patriot lock?
Patriot lock, yeah, Swaggy wins.
I don't see...
It's just one scenario of many.
I don't see Swagger taking Rusev's... I don't think Swagger is the man who's going to have Rusev's first loss to. I don't see it.
Okay.
It's going to be a bigger name that's going to actually defeat Rusev. And even though this is a perfect feud for Rusev, because now he's facing a legit competitor, a former world champion, Swagger is not as big enough to actually do it.
Okay, let's put it that way. If it's not going to go to Swagger and the Real Americans, who do you think is going to do it?
Who do I think is going to do it?
Yeah,
For the person who they're actually building up Rusev to face, Cena.
Really?
They're planning on having Rusev face Cena soon. It's going to be Cena.
Wow. I don't know.
Oh no, they are.
I think it's one of those things where I want to actually see it happen before it actually does happen.
I could be perfectly honest. If there's anyone who I want to see break Rusev's undefeated streak, is a real American, is a man who's fought for America in the Olympics with a broken freaking neck.
Oh, jeez.
Olympic gold medalist, a real American in Kurt Angle. That's who if he ever comes back to WWE, he would be the perfect person who I would see defeating Rusev.
In a perfect world, yes. Assuming he's perfectly healthy enough. Well, then again, now we're just going into me levels of fantasy booking and absurdity right now.
But it's good absurdity.
It is good absurdity. I want it to happen. I would love to see it go down like that, but my confidence is not there. Sorry.
This probably will lead to SummerSlam between Swagger and Rusev. Rusev's going to take it all. They may have a match at Battleground. Rusev's winning. They may continue this at SummerSlam. Rusev is still winning. With how much they're building this guy, they're saving him for the big boy.
But even so, with the kind of reaction we saw with the face turn with Swagger and Zeb Coulter, where are they going to go with this? Is the question I have.
After it?
Yeah, I'm not even. What I'm getting at is how far. It's not how far will they go. It's how far can they go. Like we were just talking about previously, they were in a really good town. They were in a very good, enthusiastic, smarky wrestling town. People were into the matches. They were into the twists and turns. Everyone was getting hyped for everything. This, I would really love to see this momentum that the Real Americans have right now. I'd love to see it be kept up. But as you know, all towns that the WWE tours are not alike. So I hope they get continually higher and higher reaction so that they push Swaggy to the moon and he can become a level of star, at least in WWE's eyes, that can maybe take him down. I'm sorry. Mr. Optimism here.
Captain
Optimism.
Captain Optimism there, because that is the biggest, bless you, that is the biggest stretch of optimism.
I'm just sneezing optimism.
The only reason Swagger got that pop is because of the Zeb Coulter Real Americans gimmick. They tried to do the same thing with Big E. He got nothing. He tried to do the American propaganda, did nothing.
Big E doesn't have a catchphrase that people like to chant along with. And he also doesn't have a really super talented guy managing him as a mouthpiece. It's
because of the mouthpiece that's getting him over.
You think
I think it's more Coulter getting over because he's the mouthpiece of the Real Americans. Or at least for Jack Swagger, since the Real Americans are gone.
True enough, but even so, I think the combined team, like in that logic, you can say Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar aren't as over, even though they're. I'm just not convinced that if it was just Swagger on his own, like the All-American Jack Swagger,
then absolutely
not. I would agree with you. But since it's a combined team of Swagger and Coulter, I think if they pull it off right, and again I am acknowledging that is a big if they pull it off right, they might have enough momentum and blah to at least give Lana and Rusev a run for their money.
Oh, they're gonna give them a run for their money, but it's not gonna be successful on their part.
We shall see.
This is gonna be a good story, and it's gonna be a good feud, and it's the one thing that I've been saying is what Rusev needs: a legit feud. This is it. This is his legit feud, but I still think Rusev is gonna come out on top on this feud.
We'll see. A lot of people have a lot to gain from this, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Boom.
done with that. Just for that moment, the Swagger Coulter moment, I'm going to give it a full beard. Just because, like, as much as I loved it, I'm just like, it's still Jack Swagger, and I still don't like him.
The timing on everything
was perfect.
Was right. The execution was ideal. I'm right here. I got to give you a full beard, 4 out of 5. This was good. This was seriously good. I enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what happens next.
Same here. Can't wait to see where they're going to go with this.
Can we talk about Paul Revere now, speaking of real Americans?
Yes, exactly. Yes, we can talk about Paul Revere.
The elbow is coming. The elbow is coming.
I'm having fun with what they're doing with Sandow, and it's really working. He's managing to make this stupid gimmick that they've given him and making it work for him. He's still getting that great heat. He's still getting positive reactions. He's getting "Let's Go Sandow" chants. Who'd he face? Adam Rose.
Adam Rose, yes.
Everyone wanted Sandow to win. The only thing that's over when it comes to Adam Rose is his theme song.
Yeah, as far as Adam Rose is concerned, just digressing briefly here, I really want to see some decent stuff out of Adam Rose. From what I saw from his actual debut match, I like, because again, when you just see his gimmick, he's just like, he's just some random raver party guy. How can this guy be a wrestler? But then when I first saw him in matches, he was just like, okay, he starts prancing around, messing with the opponent. But then it's like, okay, you hit him a couple times, then he gets pissed off, and now he's in serious Adam Rose mode. And then he beats you, and then as soon as he beats you, he goes back to, he's like, okay, I'm calm now. It's party time.
Let's time. Let's go to Santino Marella's party and advertise Twisted Ale.
Twisted Tea.
Twisted Tea, whichever.
I was really surprised by that. It was like, okay, not only are they advertising an alcoholic beverage on a supposedly quote-unquote PG show, but it's Twisted Tea is like...
It's Twisted Tea. And the best thing about it is it came in at a random time, and it disappeared without no one bringing it up.
It was like,
no one brought it up. Not even the commentating team.
It was just like, okay, I can see what they're trying to do, but really, of all things, Twisted Tea?
You had the bunny bring in the Twisted Tea.
It was like,
what is going on?
I mean, really, I'll freely admit I've never had the stuff, but just because of the fact that, like, it tastes like real iced tea. It's like, you mean it's not? I mean, what is it? If it's not real iced tea, if it's not alcoholic iced tea, then what the heck is it?
I don't know, and it just left me bagooing.
I know I understand what they're trying to do, but come on.
But
there are way better things you can drink in the summer times. Just saying.
It led to a nice tease on Monday Night Raw. At first, we see a limo pulling in. We're like, "Ooh, I wonder who that could be. A former world champion. I wonder who it could be." And I was watching it with Mike, and I'm just like, "It's going to be Vince McMahon."
Well,
it's like, it technically counts. He is a former world champion.
Well, yeah, but now we're getting off topic.
No, we're not. We're not getting off topic. Because next thing you know, Vince McMahon music does start. Everyone's going nuts. It's like, oh my God, it's Vince McMahon. But no, it's McMahon-dow.
Okay, I was a little afraid you were going somewhere else.
Sandow comes in, dressed up as McMahon. People are going nuts. Everyone is loving it. You actually, when he's at the stairs, you see people bowing to him, and I'm just like, okay, this is getting him over. Everyone is loving this, and he did a pretty good impression of Vince McMahon.
It was scary. I've honestly seen worse impressions out of Triple H, and he's actually married into the family.
Could this be a potential face turn for Sandow? Because what happens next is Stephanie McMahon, one of the top heels of the company, coming out and it's like, how dare you insult my father, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm going to send you a big tool in cheese. The great cheese comes out.
Blurred.
Is this supposed? It's another return on WWE.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the Great Khali is here.
It's like,
again,
oh right, it's the Great Cheese. That's what I call him, the Great Cheese, and no one cared. Yeah. Which led to Sandow's like, okay, let's hold on, chop. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and everyone. There wasn't even a cheer that the match was over. They were just like, cheese.
And I didn't care about
this
that part at all.
Could this mean that the Great Khali, the Great Cheese, is a tool of the Authority now? At least for the lower card? Like, if you're a lower card talent and you are insulting a McMahon or the Authority or whatnot, they throw a big piece of cheese at you?
Yeah, they throw a big slab of Indian cheese at you. Yeah, but really,
cheese? Chop!
Yeah, really, this, I was like, I don't think that, you know what, I just don't think.
It was Sandow. The whole moment was for Sandow, and Stephanie McMahon, of course, killing it.
I will say,
killing the momentum of that segment.
I will say, though, that the raw enthusiasm and spirit that Sandow has been putting into these impressions lately, they've gone from so bad that they're good very, very quickly, and people are catching on to that. This is just so good. I love, again, just like you, as much as disappointed as it seems like WWE isn't taking Sandow as seriously, Sandow is taking what WWE gives him so seriously that he's turning it into liquid gold. I love it. Now the question I've got is,
people love it.
Exactly. So what I'm wondering is, if this keeps catching on and keeps building up steam, I think he's got a decent shot of turning nothing into absolute something here. This could actually be, if he keeps his momentum and keeps fan interest, I think he could at least find his way back into the mid-card title scene. And from there, he can springboard back into whatever.
I honestly hope so, because now he's reached the point where the intellectual savior, he has to evolve that. He can't just go back to wearing the robe and silence! I kill you! He's reached the point where now whatever he's doing now somewhat killed that, and now he has to evolve from that. And Sandow is capable of evolving. Absolutely. I mean, look what he did with this. He took a completely stupid idea and, like you said, made it liquid gold. People are loving this. People are actually supporting Sandow. People are saying, it sucks that Sandow's getting treated like this and he can't win a match. People are getting behind Sandow. They want to see him succeed now. He's taking whatever success. He's like, in a way, he's kind of becoming a Zack Ryder-esque thing, taking something that they're giving him and making it his own, and people are citing him for it.
Yeah,
except he'll probably succeed more because, unlike Ryder, as much as I love Zack Ryder, at least back then, I think Sandow is much more talented in the ring and on the mic. And he knows how to get the crowd behind him. Other than just going, woo, woo, woo.
I knew it. Yeah, really, this is another case of this can go so many different ways. So many different ways it can go wrong, but it seems like he's gone through a lot of those ways already, and he's still turning it around. How far it could go, I don't know. He certainly has, I agree with you, unfortunately, a lot more potential than Zack Ryder ever did. But I still think he can do that same sort of turnaround story, absolutely. Where he can take something he had such a chance to go into complete obscurity that he ends up taking what he's been given and just turning it into gold. This, I'm extremely hopeful. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I am extremely, extremely excited that this could very well stand a chance and turn into something.
And now, since he actually was making fun of essentially a heel, and having a heel having the heel authority figure not like it and leading to getting demolished, this could be the potential face turn and the boost that he actually needs. Because I have no idea who he upset in the back to get him to do this, that got him thrown into this, but it's kind of it's similar to what they did with Triple H back after the MSG incident. Possibly. That he's gotten thrown. Triple H got thrown basically down in the lower card and built himself back up, and I feel like it's a different circumstance, but it's essentially the same thing.
Essentially, I see what you're building at, but I have a real hard time saying it's essentially the same thing, if only because that it's way too early. We don't know what exactly happened, if Damien Sandow did do something, or if it's just someone pulling a rib on him and he's turned it around on him, or if they just don't know what to do with Sandow right now.
The real story is just that he was given the Money in the Bank at the worst time.
He
really was, because when he had the belt, he had the briefcase. It was at the point when they were planning on merging the titles together.
Yeah, but what does that really mean, though? As far as if that's
how they're really wanting
a D push or a burial or whatever you want to call this, I've noticed WWE tends to be really blatant in how if they want to bury you, they're gonna bury you. I don't really know what it is or what motivated this. All I can see is where it could be going and what's being done with it right now, which is very pleasing to me.
Okay, how about this? If they can have Goldust do his get electrocuted and do his thing, boo boo, twitching this, and now look where he's at now. He was in a top tier feud with the Authority. Anything's possible.
Anything can happen in WWE, absolutely. And I'm back in. It's not like I ever left Team Sandow, but now I'm really hopeful that Team Sandow will actually get a victory in the near future.
Same here. All right, now let's get into the Money in the Bank. Let's get into two main events.
This thing happened,
the main event matches. The first Money in the Bank, which was the number one match in my opinion.
You are very right.
With Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, gone from Money in the Bank to now with Fandango is beyond me. RVD, Kofi Kingston, and Jack Swagger. And sadly, no Bad News Barrett. It sucks to hear what happened, that he's gone for a couple of months and now he had to drop the title, which leads to a battle royal. They didn't specify how many guys are going to be in this. It's most likely going to be 20 because that's their normal number for battle royals.
They could do whatever they want. Just throw a bunch of dudes, do a battle royal. It'll be fun, blarg, whatever. There will be spots.
We already talked about where Swagger is. Let's talk about the winner now. Seth Rollins in a quote controversial victory, even though we all know it's like, it's the plan B. Kane comes out, takes out Dean Ambrose, holds the ladder for Seth Rollins for him to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase. Let me ask you something before we go.
Okay.
Do you like the golden briefcase?
As a matter of fact, I do. It definitely stands out a lot more than just the red or the blue. Because now again, I know we've talked about this at length, how the Money in the Bank just sort of, it seemed overdone for a while, and it didn't seem like it, or at least I said this.
Yeah, you said it.
It was, I had so many complaints about the Money in the Bank. Two of them being, it just seemed like a way to breed really weak-looking champions, and it seemed like there were too many of them at one point. And they didn't mean as much anymore.
You can continue what you say.
In terms of what they're doing with how they're using the Money in the Bank and just the appearance that they're getting, using a gold briefcase, not only does it make it stand out a lot more visually, but gives you that more visceral reaction that, okay, this has more prestige now. This is more valuable. This is exactly what they've been hyping up to be. You got this. You got a title match at any time you want. This is Money in my bank. Boom.
The one real thing with what you were saying about the credibility of the Money in the Bank disappearing for a while is the only real factor of why it was like that is because there was two. It's because bless you. It's because there was two Money in the Banks, and when you say there's the champion that like the briefcase holder that looked weak, it was mainly towards the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank, the blue briefcase, the SmackDown briefcase. Those guys were always made to look weak. It's because it was going for their second tier title, which is the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, even so,
the one real difference is because a mid card guy is giving it, because what they were planning for, even though it's the World Heavyweight Championship, it was the mid card title.
But even so,
it took credibility away from it because now you're giving the second tier title of Money in the Bank.
Okay, as far as credibility is concerned, I think that's a very poor choice of words. That I didn't mean quite say that. This is more of a relativity thing. it became less prestigious, I guess. Because again, not only just because of what you just described, but even so, when all you've got is people just cashing in on just people when they're weaker, sure, it can create some really hype moments on just some random Monday Night Raw, but afterwards, after the hype all dies down, it's like even with whoever holds the whatever belt it is, even if it is the WWE title, which is generally considered at the time to be the stronger title. Again, that's up for debate, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even then, it seemed like you wouldn't produce as stronger of a looking champion as you would if, you got in a legit match. But again, this is a whole other thing for another time.
The real thing is, the first cash in was on a week when the guy was weak after fading in an elimination chamber.
Well, yeah, but even then, it was the first time. First time was with Edge, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. First time it was an Edge. There was no real precedent for that kind of thing. Plus, Edge was playing up the ultimate opportunist thing, blah, 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 radar, superstar, heel. In that context, it made sense. But every other time, if they keep doing it year after year after year, it just didn't have the same impact it once had. With this, just bringing things full circle and what you're talking about as far as a gold-plated briefcase, this is a definite step in the right direction along with how they're booking it. Seth Rollins, even though I really, really wanted Dean Ambrose to win, this is being used the way Money in the Bank needs to be used. You've got an obviously high-tier, basically main event level talent in Seth Rollins post-Shield now. You got him. You're giving him something to do with the Money in the Bank. You've got Dean Ambrose. You got him a top face in the making if he's not already there. You got him feuding in what is really a main event feud. Main event Hugh? What was I going to say? Anyway, you've got Dean Ambrose. You heard the reactions during this match. Dean Ambrose
is now.
Dean Ambrose
over.
Is the man. Dean Ambrose is the man. They got something for him to do. He's got something to chase, which is right where he needs to be as a face. He's got someone to attack. Dean Ambrose, again, I'm a Dean Ambrose guy. Have been for a long time now. Everything is going according to plan. This match, and the match leading up to it, not for nothing. This match was great. Can
you look at the Dean Ambrose reaction and the whole arc of what happened at Money in the Bank as something similar to Mick Foley? It's pretty much the tamed version of Mick Foley getting thrown off the cell and coming back to finish the match.
I see what you're saying.
Like I said, it's tamed. It's tamed. It wasn't. It's like you really don't think, oh, he's legit injured. He's been selling his injury on the past shows, and this looked like it may have hurt him, and he still comes back. It's them working at it as a storyline. Where with Mick Foley is concerned, you actually think, okay, he is not coming back. He got thrown off a 20-foot cell. He's not coming back. But then all of a sudden he just comes back. And in my opinion, it got the same reaction with him coming back.
It absolutely did. Again, maybe it's just me having Mick Foley as my favorite of all time. So even toned down or not, I have a real hard time comparing anyone else to what Mick Foley did during the Attitude Era, during the perfect time in wrestling for a guy like him. Although given what we know about Ambrose and what they seem to be doing for his character, while I have a hard time putting Dean Ambrose in the same echelon as Mick Foley, even though I admit I'm full on biased, the reaction and the dynamic that we have between the storyline between him, Seth Rollins, and the crowd itself, the reaction was definitely the same. It was definitely just as strong. And it definitely made everyone take notice. It made the crowd look at Dean Ambrose like a grade A tough guy, grade A badass. He'll fight anyone to the bitter end. And I definitely think that the WWE corporate definitely takes notice. He's definitely he's a future guy. He's a made man.
And now the fact that he's now threatening Seth Rollins, whenever you have the opportunity to cash in, I will be there to have, instead of a Money in the Bank contract in that briefcase, it's a bomb. And once you try and cash in, it will explode in your face. I'm like, I am loving these analogies. I am loving these ideas that they're having.
These guys are great.
This is great. This is a great feud. I'm looking forward to this.
It makes me want to watch Monday Night Raw and see what will happen.
Which is that's the idea.
Mission accomplished.
And as for the match itself, everyone did their
part. Thing of beauty.
This was hands down the match of the night.
I knew we had this conversation before about, I know you weren't happy with guys like Kofi Kingston and Jack Swagger's, like, why are these guys in the match? I hope you at least took this away from the match, where with some of the spots they did and with the amount of effort these guys put in, were you at least able to point at those moments and say, that's why?
I say more that Seth Rollins backdrop onto the ladder and he bounced off and the ladder bounced and he fell. I say more that was the better spot than what Kofi and Swagger would do. But they did have their moments. I do understand why they were put in there, but like
it's not a perfect world. I know.
Like I said, the whole thing when it comes to Money in the Bank, I want to see guys in there who actually look like they can win. Swagger, I understand because he's a former Money in the Bank winner himself. He's a former champion, so he deserves it. Kofi was just the weak link in that match, at least in my opinion. But we all know he's there just for the spots and all that. Yeah. But I really wish it was just like he would be in there for the spots, and he, in my opinion, deserves to be in the match.
Yes, even though I see what you're going for. Like I keep. At this stage in the game, I can't help but draw a lot of comparisons between Kofi Kingston now and way back then during the Attitude Era Edge, because again he was in very much the same spot, doing all sorts of ladder matches, known for being a ladder match and guy.
Well, because he had Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys there with him.
But again, because he's been in that kind of match for so often. I think it's possible for him to at least take the briefcase once in his career. Maybe not next year, maybe not the year after, but I think they're at least going to let him hold on to the Money in the Bank contract as sort of like a...
Thank you?
Yeah, almost like a thank you for all he's done. He doesn't necessarily have to win the title, even though he might, depending on how well he's booked down the road or what he shows everybody. But... Again, I think at least he deserves down the road to actually hold on to the briefcase for a little while.
That's just Captain Optimism talking.
Yeah, it is. I like
Kofi. I like Kofi, but he's not going anywhere past the Intercontinental title.
Hey,
as much as he's not going to win the Money in the Bank ever. No. No. But he doesn't.
I think he at least deserves to hang on to the briefcase.
He may deserve to hang on to the briefcase, but he's not going to. He's not.
A lot can happen in a year. I'm optimistic that I'm not saying it necessarily will happen, but I'm hopeful that it will happen, that it can happen one day in years down the line.
Now, as it comes to the rating, like I said, I loved everything in this match. It was so much fun. Goat face, all across the board. Goat face, down to the floor.
Goat face.
Now for the Money in the Bank match
for
the World Heavyweight Championship. On the other hand, my God, isn't that very disappointing to say? This match was dead.
This match was fine.
I can't even say it was fine. It really wasn't. No, I wasn't into this match. The audience wasn't into the match. Nothing special came out of this match. Probably mainly because everyone knew who was going to win. Who was going to win this match?
I still had an outside hope that Crazy Uncle Bray would take it, but I really.
Last week I had to use a coin toss to have me pick my win.
Yeah, realistically, Cena was due as far as Cena was concerned. It was what it was. It's even just my reaction right now. This thing sure was a match that happened. And, yeah, Cena wins, LOL.
But I guess the only real positive thing to really come out of it is the people who didn't win are in good spots for where they are and when it comes to storyline purposes. I mean, look at Cesaro. He completely obliterated Kofi Kingston, even though he lost his match. lost the match to Kofi. He completely destroyed Kofi after, and it was scary.
Yeah, two things here. I don't know if this has ever been done before, where the match actually ended during a commercial break.
Oh, that's a first. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I can see why they did.
It literally happened right. The match ended right before it came back. Like literally, 2 seconds after the match ended, it came back. And he's like, "Oh, if you didn't watch it on the WWE app," which is a load of crap, by the way. I have the WWE app, and it does nothing.
Really, it wasn't there.
It keeps saying connect to your Wi-Fi, even though I'm fully connected to my Wi-Fi. The app just doesn't work anymore.
Huh, that's weird.
That's why I don't even bother looking at it. But like I said, that attack... Well, before I even go into the attack, did you see Cesaro's eye?
Cesaro is now Sagat from Street Fighter, and I love it.
He is. Whatever happened, it looked like it just got swollen. Something bad happened. But after the whole attack, throwing him over the announcer's table, beating the crap out of him, the thing that was like, oh my god, this is like freaky, is when he took... I don't think I've ever seen this before, is when he took Kofi's arms around the turnbuckle and just continuously slammed his chest into it multiple times. And I'm like, okay, this is actually getting like unbearable to watch, but I can't look away.
I want him to start doing tiger uppercuts.
And the uppercut off the... Like when Kofi had some fight coming back and he tried jumping off the stairs and led to a big uppercut, and like, yeah, you're getting taken out.
Tiger.
And I can simply say this right now, even before the prediction show, I think Cesaro is taking the Battle Royal.
If he remains as Sagat, I can see it. Hey, I'm going to Evo next week. Leave me alone. I got Street Fighter on the mind.
That's perfectly fine. But yeah, I think he is hands down taking the Intercontinental title, and he's going to be just as successful as the Intercontinental Champion as he was the United States Champion.
I can see it working out well for him if that's the way they want to go. I still personally believe, as hype as Cesaro is these days, I'm still going to hold off on my enthusiasm one way or the other. I still want to see who else they put into it and how they build it. But,
oh no, he's with how much they want to build their top three names that they want to build for for next year's WrestleMania: Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, and Cesaro. They want to build those three guys to the moon and beyond. And having Cesaro win another Battle Royal, this time for the Intercontinental Championship, their second-tier title, their stepping stone for main event stardom, he's taken that. He's taken that title.
Again, I do think he's got a way better shot than most other people, but who knows? They could put like Bray Wyatt in that sucker. I don't know. Just not saying, just saying.
Oh, they already have a match planned for Bray Wyatt, and good segue, by the way.
What the hell am I talking about? Never mind.
They were building on a former champion returning, as I said earlier. At first, I jokingly thought it was McMahon, but no, it became boom, boom. I came to play awesome, and the biggest tease ever. The Miz also returns, and the best thing about Miz coming back is he's coming back as a heel.
Yeah,
he's doing the thing that actually worked for him, and I liked his promo. I really did. He's saying, I was a former world champion. I main evented WrestleMania. Now look, where am I now? He is taking a similar role as The Rock did. He's like, I am a movie star. I'm like Hollywood Rock, but like, I'm a movie star. You can come do movies. But I chose to come back here because no one believes in me. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to make you believe in me. I'm going to rebuild myself as a star. Which leads to, break the wall down, break down the wall. I'm like, okay. It was an interesting, I liked the promo that Miz was doing, but now they just one-upped it with the return of Chris Jericho, which kind of shut down the Miz with like, how dare you come back? No code breaker. Goodbye, Miz.
Yeah, this one was... When The Miz came out, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. The Miz is back. Neat. But then Jericho's music hit. I was like, whoa, boy, this is going to be good.
Welcome to Raw is... Everyone is losing it.
What the hell was that?
My attempt at the Wyatts. You killed it for me, fool.
I was just like, derp.
dirt.
That's why I just go
and
with
then
dirt.
everyone, their minds exploded. And then all three Wyatts are standing in each corner, staring down Chris Jericho. The fans are going nuts. They just stood there, and already there was "This is awesome."
I'll tell you what, this whole segment between everyone coming out, it was real escalation on my part. When The Miz came out, I was just like, okay, yeah, Miz, cool, that's awesome. When Jericho came out, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. When the Wyatts derp hit...
Derp?
Yeah, when the Wyatts derp hit, it made me make this noise.
And the very first thing I said, as soon as that happened, I'm like, this feud is taking the summer.
Oh, yeah.
This feud
is going to be huge.
This is going to be the top feud of the summer. Sorry, Roman Reigns and Triple H. Sorry, John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt, two gods on the microphone, two gods in the ring, are going to dominate. This feud is going to be beautiful.
If anyone can keep up with Bray Wyatt on the microphone, it's someone like the caliber of Chris Jericho. This is going to be stellar.
This actually, I'm like, okay, if I knew this was going to happen, I'm glad that Bray Wyatt didn't win the title, because this is going to be a fantastic feud. This is going to push him
even further.
This is going to
this is gold.
This is, like I said, this is going to be the feud of the summer, hands down.
Easy.
Oh, it's going to be great, and leading to the Wyatt beatdown, Sister Abigail, follow the Buzzards. Done.
Yeah, it looks like, again, just reading over what happens on this Friday for the 4th of July SmackDown. Again, no spoilers, but just from what I'm reading about the what Chris Jericho's doing, there's going to be a lot of momentum going into this series of matches or feud or whatever they want to do. This is going to be so much fun.
Knowing how they feel about Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt, they're going to give them the creative freedom when it comes to the microphones.
Oh, please. They've already given... For a newbie, they've already given Bray Wyatt a tremendous amount of freedom. And Chris Jericho, please. Jericho speaks for himself at this point.
Exactly. Oh, I cannot wait. Oh, it's going to be...
We're bringing the market
this is
right now.
This is like
gold.
Literally after this segment, I'm just like, my head is hurting because my mind has just been blown with how awesome that was. Oh. Okay, now... Oh.
You're still marking.
I'm still like, my head's hurting again because of how awesome that was. Just talking about it.
We still need to rate the pay-per-view.
Okay, well, let's rate the match because
match itself, I would give this.
Sheamus is going to do his United States Championship feud. Del Rio's going to disappear. Cesaro's doing his home thing, winning the Intercontinental title. Now let's get on to John Cena actually winning the Money in the Bank and having a little promo with Triple H and Stephanie that started off Raw. With now, John Cena is now on the cover of WWE 2K15, which, if I'm actually getting that video game, I'm going to wait for the alternate cover, whatever it's going to be, because it's not. I don't care who it is, as long as it's not John Cena.
I have not honestly been enthusiastic about a WWE video game in years. You haven't shown me anything yet.
The one real difference between this and like the last couple of games, just like WWE 12. It's a different company actually taking full control of the game. So I'm
not
intrigued.
Sure what to expect from that.
I'm intrigued. I'll probably just rent it. I'll rent the game
out
of the $1 box just to have it for like 2 or 3 days, just to see what it's capable of. I'm not going to buy this, but the real thing that intrigued me is that Triple H is giving Cena is like, you can either go along for the ride as being our champion, or you can take it the hard way. And of course, being John Cena and Mr. High and Mighty chose, but Mr. Appledough chose the hard way, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect any different from you, John, which is why you're going to have a fatal 4-way at Battleground, facing Randy Orton and Kane, which is understandable because they're authority guys, and his tag team partner Roman Reigns." That baffles me, because didn't last pay-per-view, like before build-up, was to keep Roman Reigns out of the title picture, and now they just throw him in?
What's
with the continuity of that?
Placeholder.
place. It just
they want something to just lay over the title so Cena can still be a champion, so they can do the Brock Lesnar feud versus John Cena for SummerSlam. And
well, they built, and they're saying they're planning a plan. There's always a plan B, and then Seth Rollins comes out after Cena's leaving. I'm like, he's not the plan B.
Yeah,
Seth Rollins is not the plan B. In my personal opinion, I think the plan B is going to be Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it depends whether or not the threat wants to come from the Authority or from the House of Heyman or something like that.
The only real thing that I can really see is their plan A is to have 3 guys. This is the only way I can actually think this makes sense of putting Roman Reigns as, just because of how dominant he is. No matter what happened, they have Kane and Randy Orton in there. Either it's a good way to take down both Roman Reigns and John Cena. And plan A is to take them down long enough so Seth Rollins can try and cash in. And if that fails, their plan B is Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. The man who defeated The Undertaker's streak, which is a title on its own.
Well, really, that's really the way I think everyone sees this. This is the way it's going to end up going. Maybe not in that exact reasoning, but we all know that after this, we all know that we're just going to get Brock versus Cena for the title at SummerSlam. We all know what's happening.
We all know what's happening, and that's the real difference between this feud and even the Roman Reigns Triple H feud compared to the Wyatt Chris Jericho feud. We don't know what's going to happen between those two. We don't know, we all know it's going to help escalate Bray Wyatt's status, but we don't know how they're going to do it. With John Cena winning the title, it's just predictable, in a sense. It's just it's easy. It's their easy way to build for SummerSlam. And it makes sense considering it's Brock Lesnar and John Cena, 2 giant names in their company going for the title at their second biggest event. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. And if anything, we'll talk SummerSlam details at the SummerSlam.
We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, absolutely.
But when it comes to the main event at Money in the Bank, back to the pay-per-view itself, I'm going to have to give the ladder match a peach fuzz.
Really? That low?
That match actually did nothing for me. I'm being generous, to be perfectly honest.
Just by sheer virtue of what it was, I cannot give this match lower than a classic OT 3 out of 5. I gotta go with it.
Just because the predictability. The only reason I'm giving it a 2-star rating, peach fuzz, is because where certain people who lost the match are going now. Mm-hmm. I can be perfectly honest. I was actually after the pay-per-view, I was giving it a 1. I was giving it a clean shaven. But after seeing where they're doing with Bray Wyatt, where they're going with Cesaro, really just those two. Those two saved it for me because they're the only 2 of the match that I actually cared for. I love the hell out of Kane. I will always be a Canaanite forever. But now he's at the point where he could just do whatever he could just be the
he's just Kane.
He's just Kane, and he's working with the Authority, and it works. It works for him.
That's working for everyone else around him, and that I believe is the most important
People are
part.
saying they don't want Kane in the title match. I'm like, why? He's good enough. It's Kane.
He's permanently...
Have you completely forgotten what he's done with his entire career? He's feuded against He's had great feuds against The Undertaker. He was the main storyline of WWE at one point after he took off his mask for the first time. Yeah, he was the storyline.
If you're booing Kane, then guess what? You're doing exactly what they want you to do right now. Kane is doing exactly what he needs to. He's doing his job, and he's making everyone else look good around him, including my main man, Dean Ambrose.
Booing Kane is one thing. Saying he's not deserving to be in that spot, he's past his prime. I don't think he's past his prime.
I'm not sure if you realize this, but or if you caught on. There are a lot of wrestling fans who have a real knack for hyperbole.
I guess. I guess.
That and they never like anything. This is the internet.
And actually, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why
the IWC is just silly.
Yeah,
I'm not attacking them as hard as some other wrestling shows do. Just basically
all those internet commentators, what do they know?
And people completely insulting them. It's just okay, your theories are silly, but I'm not going to insult you on your opinions. That's the thing. Yeah. What other wrestling shows have done. But when it comes to the pay-per-view itself, what rating would you give it? The whole
pay-per-view, I would give it just because of the sheer quality of the not the World Heavyweight title, the Money in the Bank match alone, I cannot honestly give this thing lower than a full beard. 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna go one step lower and giving it a classic goatee.
That's also
because
fair.
Really the only two matches that really gained anything for me was the tag team title match between Usos and the Wyatts and the Money in the Bank contract ladder match. Those two were the only matches that were interesting, and the Rusev Big E was actually fun for me. It wasn't great. No, it was good.
Right.
But it actually got me intrigued, and I actually do like Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
I like his agility. He's actually good. He's a really good wrestler for a big guy. And now they have a great feud planning for him with Swagger, and I can't wait. I'm intrigued of what they're doing with Rusev. But when it comes to the pay-per-view in its entirety, I can't go anything higher than a classic goatee.
Mm-hmm.
But on Raw, on the other hand,
Gold.
I loved the hell out of this Raw.
This was a good Raw, especially after a Money in the Bank. I'm sure someone on the comments section will probably prove me wrong, or maybe Brian will when he gets back. But this, I don't really recall seeing any real spectacular, memorable Raws after most Money in the Banks. For the most part, it's usually reserved for post-WrestleManias. This was really enjoyable, and I honestly did not expect a lot of these twists and turns and returns and everything. It was a lot of fun. This was a fun Raw.
So what would you give it?
Honestly, same rating.
Full beard?
Full beard. As far as Raws go, this was exceptional.
I'm going to have to second that. I'm going to give it a full beard. And honestly, I probably would have given it a goat face if I wasn't angry at a couple of things. One, mainly throwing Ziggler in with the Summer Rae Layla Fandango storyline.
Yeah. No Raw's perfect. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. And then I didn't actually watch the Brie Bella handicap match with the Funkadactyls. I went to get dinner during that match. So
I don't blame you.
So that's points taken off just for missing it. So I gave it a full beard and nothing more, nothing less. And now, speaking of Brian, when he comes back, he actually sent me a message since he wasn't coming tonight. He actually gave me his little message on what he thought of the pay-per-view and probably Raw. Hold on, I just gotta build it up. While this thing is loading, you want to do a little cheap plugs?
Yes. As always, if you enjoy what you hear, of course, I can't talk. I'm at the end of my rope. It's the end of the show. Just go ahead, throw us a bone, like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more. And, of course, you can always like us on Facebook, the Scholars of Wrestling Show. And if you'd like to play in our monthly pay-per-view prediction games, look for us. Join up for free at 4down.org. Join the fantasy wrestling games there. And join, of course, the rest of us on the Scholars of Wrestling Fantasy Wrestling League. Just run a search for the Scholars of Wrestling team. Once you sign up for free, compete for prizes every month with thousands of real wrestling fans all around the world. Show you're a scholar. Join us for all the fun.
Speaking of which, for the second pay-per-view in a row, I actually forgot to put my predictions on 4 Down. Did you actually see the results before you and Brian?
Yes, Brian won again. I picked really horribly this month. This one was not a good
I could be perfectly honest, just how the results ended, because I actually tried reminding myself.
You might have actually won.
I actually think I would have taken that. If I actually remembered to participate.
So there you go.
So,
you and everyone else listening needs to sign up right now and make sure you do everything for Battleground and show how much of a scholar you truly are.
Brian can't say anything on my part because I'm just dumb and forgetting to post my opinion. He can attack you all he wants.
It happens.
All right.
We'll throw down when he gets back. When we all get back.
Speaking of Brian, he just goes, "Hey Tarek, hey Jeff, and fellow scholars, I'm pretty dead mentally, so I'll leave this short and sweet. Money in the Bank gets a classic goatee, basically for the Wyatts and Usos and the Money in the Bank briefcase ladder match. Everything else was disappointing or just there. Raw, on the other hand, gets a full beard due to all the returns, including my favorite superstar of all time, Chris Jericho. And there was nothing on the show that actually pissed me off, except for Sandow. There's no use talking about that anymore. Have a good show. Bye.
We already had a good show.
We already did have a good show, and I can't.
We'll argue about this when we all come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, when you enjoy Evo, and then Brian comes back for next week's show, and now once again we'll have all three of us. And I can't wait to see how that's going to go out.
This is going to be interesting.
I can't wait to see how next week's going to go out. You listen to it and be like, "How dare you say
How
that?
dare you?
How dare you?
Your opinions are wrong."
This is going to be
Oh, boy.
And I'm really looking forward to what's going on in the wrestling world building up for SummerSlam, because now Money in the Bank is now the official season for SummerSlam, the start-off season for SummerSlam.
We'll see how it goes.
How Royal Rumble is the start-off season for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to see where they're going to go with at least some of these storylines, particularly 2. Thank you all for listening in, and we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. Good night.
I gotta go prep for Evo.
Go enjoy
See you in 2
Evo,
weeks.
fighting, probably getting your ass kicked by a bunch of guys.